Ohayou gozaimasu. Welcome to another episode of Ohayou Anime, the anime podcast where it's not morning here, but it is in Japan. So that's how we get away with it. Irashaimase. Hope you're going to have a good time here as we talk about some anime. It's not going to be just me tonight. We have our returning regular guest, Phil, on board.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Good. You got looks like you got a fresh haircut there. And
I did. Just a couple hours ago.
Nice. Just for the show.
Just for the show. Of course, for the show. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Also, you had said not just me tonight. I had your back last podcast. I mean, you started it out.
No, absolutely.
By yourself a fair amount, but
I had considered starting early tonight, and then like I really don't. I don't have anything.
It's hard to
feel like I need to say right now.
So. Fair enough. Yeah.
But I'm glad you're here first, actually, because I know that you are. Well, here, before we get there, let me set it up. We're going to be talking about Jujutsu Kaisen tonight.
Yeah, obviously.
The Shibuya incident arc has finally begun after weeks on break. And so, yeah, the first 2 episodes are now out, and we'll be discussing that in spoilery detail now, basically the show. But while we wait for some other people to roll in, you had mentioned that you started Dorohedoro. So want to see how far you are in that, let everybody know what you're thinking of it so far, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think I said in the last pod episode that I've been this close a bunch of different times. And so actually, okay, so how did I start out with it? So I've been meaning to watch it. I told you this, but I don't think I told our viewers, and I'm sure they care a lot. But I got a brand new TV for my main, my den family room, which is what I'm currently in, what I usually pod from. I've always had a 55-inch on the wall, and I upgraded to a really nice 75-inch. So I've been kind of in TV watching, sports watching, anime watching heaven. So it's been awesome.
Yeah.
The first anime I watched on it was a couple episodes of Zom 100. I was a little behind, and it was so beautiful. I nearly wept. It was just the colors and the
so
clarity of the TV. Yeah. It's like a backlit LG. It's just, yeah. So good stuff. So anyway, I was gonna watch some Space Dandy to christen my new TV one night, a couple days after I got it, and because that's a really bright, vibrant, really well drawn and animated show. I was like, that's perfect. And then I realized that my TV that I bought, the smart TV, but it doesn't have Crunchyroll just on it. And so, and I had to go in the Amazon Fire Stick. And so I didn't have it. So anyway, long story long, I couldn't watch Space Dandy, and I was like, Dorohedoro it is. That also looks like a very colorful and vibrant show, although it's, it actually thematically it seems very dark, but
yes,
it's visually it's not. I mean, parts are, I guess, but yeah. So anyway, that's why I got into Dorohedoro. I mean, we talked about it.
Speaking of visually very vibrant, but maybe inside very dark.
Nice segue. I was like, what is he talking about? Oh, Andrew.
What an introduction.
Yeah.
My God, I can never top that now.
Yeah. Welcome, Andrea. How's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Good, yeah. Yeah, Phil was just letting us know, giving us the background on how he got into Dorohedoro.
Yeah, it took me about a year to get there.
Brand new TV.
Yeah. How's that going? Are awesome. We seeing the glow in the background of your giant TV?
Let's just show the viewers what they want to see.
Okay.
Sorry, hit my microphone.
Give them what they want, baby.
Give them what they want. Give the viewers what they want.
Well, viewers want
so pretty.
Mike's here. Wow.
It's my camera, my phone camera, or my computer camera's not great, but
it's gorge, baby.
It looks good.
It's very poorly animated football. Not animated, but you know what I mean.
I'm so sorry to do this. I have to hijack. I just came on, but I'm already hijacking. This is my darkness inside maybe coming out. Did you watch the first play of the Jets, Phil?
I wasn't watching it, but Chris texted me like Rogers LOL, and I was like, what? And I was at swimming lessons with my oldest, and I got home and I like looked and it was like Rogers goes out on the first play of the first game. I was like, oh, that's not good. But
I don't even know how to feel. It's just
not good for the Jets.
Oh God, it's like all the feels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the
and
irony.
I know. We're living in the love era, though.
That sucks for you.
Rogers,
but
who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I couldn't help it because I just watched it play out in real time and was like, this is literally the definition of irony.
Yeah. Not great.
Mike, welcome in. Are
Hi,
you
Mike.
living with the football drama? Are you in on the football drama?
Not as much as I used to be. No. But I do wonder how long until the Vikings have Rodgers taking snaps.
Next season, probably.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Rodgers has wanted to be Favre his whole life, it seems like. He's following
Exactly. I mean,
on his footsteps. Mm-hmm.
He's walking that path, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Plays like him.
Cool.
Just like a better version, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, some people here are really big Favre fans. I don't want to out anybody, but
Hey, man, put me on that list.
right. Yeah. True. Me too, but not as big as Andrea. But yeah, no, football's been great. I've been really digging it. I'm a new degenerate anime watcher, but I've been for a while a degenerate fantasy football player. So
Yep. Mm-hmm.
do a lot of that lately too.
Yeah. People do weird fantasy leagues for different things. I don't know how that works. You know, I've seen people do fantasy leagues for, I don't know, video games somehow or something. And I don't know what that
Interesting.
What that means. But
I don't know how that works, but fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried doing a couple of fantasy Formula One leagues for a couple of years, and it was enjoyable for the first year or so, and then it just doesn't play out quite the same. There's not as much, not as many variables to play into it, and so you kind of end up setting a team, and it kind of becomes very, very clear in Formula One what the optimal team is going to be. So then you don't really make any changes throughout the year.
Sure.
And everybody can have, so like the nice thing about fantasy football, right, is that, only one person, one team can have, the individual player or whatever. And in Formula One, that wasn't the case. So everybody could have Max Verstappen, if they wanted to. And so
Interesting.
Or like a daily fantasy or like a daily like DFS, like DraftKings type style or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And that makes it less interesting because there just becomes an optimal team to set up.
Right. And everyone's doing it. And then it's like everyone tied.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Whoever figured out that optimal team first wins the rest of the season. Like,
Sure. Yeah. That'd be hard.
Sure.
You play fantasy football too, Mike, or have you?
I have. Yeah.
Okay.
I played football for a lot of years, and I was always the guy who, instead of watching the game, would rather be out throwing the football around and playing it.
Yeah.
So I never kept up with once I was past kind of 12, 13 years old, I didn't keep up with the individual player stats well enough. Yeah. And I'd always set my team, forget to make any updates or changes, injuries would happen. And, I was just donating money to my friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough. Yeah. You gotta. I got a pretty decent commute, so I do a lot of fantasy football podcast listening. So that that's like all of my research, weekly research is like just on my commute. So then I don't have to really spend a lot of time in my free time doing it, which is nice.
Wow, that's perfect.
Right.
My neighbor across the street basically has a second income around sports gambling. He's amazing at it.
Just run a bunch of leagues or something and get like paid to run a bunch of leagues or something?
He does the DraftKings type of thing. He does fantasy football leagues too, but like the depth of research, and he'll do it on golf tournaments as well. And the depth of research that man has is incredible. And then wins thousands of dollars on a regular basis.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Well, and if that's your passion, like go get it. Why not make some money off that side hustle? Like if he truly enjoys it, that's awesome.
Right. I wish my hobby paid me money.
Yeah.
Right.
One of my friends who live in my neighborhood that I met just as being a neighbor has a second income. He's probably like my age, but he sells vintage motorcycle helmets overseas in like South Korea and Japan. He makes like 50 grand extra income a year from this.
Damn.
He called it a side hustle. I was like, dude, that's not a side hustle. That's like a hustle.
That's a hustle. Yeah.
So
That's straight up.
like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very niche, but yeah.
Yeah.
How does that work? Like he
buys them at like garage sales and like antique stores and stuff, and then he like kind of cleans them up a bit and puts them on his online page, and then he's at any given time he's got like 40-ish motorcycle helmets in his basement. Like, no,
wow.
It's like cool. Yeah, I mean, so he's like constantly turning them over.
Sure.
Huh.
Well, I mean, those would take up space, but not like crazy amounts of space.
Yeah, I think he just has like,
you know what I mean?
room.
Like,
yeah, I've never seen him, but
I could live with that. Like if that was Chris's deal and he had like a room for motorcycle helmets, I could live with that.
An extra $50K a year, yeah, I bet you could.
Yeah, I could.
I could. My whole house. No garage, I can park on the street. Fine, that's great. Well, no, because I'd have a way extra car if I was making that much extra money, so I wouldn't park on the street, actually. Like, Dana, how do you have a bedroom? We live in the living room now because our room is devoted to motorcycle helmets.
Okay, so here's a good question, though. 50 extra K a year, what would you do with it?
Oh.
Like everybody, what would you do? Would you be like the people who win the lotto and are like, I'm going to invest it? Or like, would you take a trip? Would you buy a car? What would you do?
An extra $50K a year?
Yes. Okay, like for the first year. Like the
first year. Oh, okay.
What would you do with the first year? Because I feel like that's the most exciting.
Yeah. Pay off debt? Does that count? Just kidding. I'd probably buy a cool car. Probably a cool car.
It's fair.
Nothing too crazy.
Okay, so it's 50,000 after taxes. It's tax free.
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's after taxes. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I'm not exactly positive.
Hey, paying off debt is solid. That is a different kind of joy, but it is joy.
Right.
It is.
Someone on this podcast is supposed to say they're gonna like build the greatest anime collection ever. You know,
I would start an anime production company right here in the States.
Wow.
Ooh.
There you go.
Can I be your first voice actor hire?
Yes. It'd be awesome.
Everybody heard it right here, right now.
Breaking news.
I think I honestly think I probably would mostly put it away. I'd probably go on some sort of trip, and then I'd put it away. You know, interest rates go up. Yeah, get a little something back. So
So
that's smart.
High yield.
I would be nerdy. I would put like half of it away, but then half of it would either go to a trip to like Japan or to like New Zealand. To walk the Lord of the Rings trail.
Oh yeah,
like that.
we're talking. That's cool.
I would take my wife to Greece, and then the rest of it would be used to buy a seat on a semi-professional race team, something in IMSA.
Sweet.
Maybe try and I don't know how far 50 grand gets me in there, but I think that gets me into a GT3 car. I'd bet.
Sweet.
So
that's cool
for a year, right? That's all we're saying. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Per
like
year.
You gotta start getting sponsors. You know, you gotta start going out there, selling yourself, getting sponsors, getting the label slapped in your car.
Pennzoil. I've heard oil companies like to sponsor racers, so you should look into that.
Pennzoil this winter.
Phil's hot tip.
Valvoline is a good one, I think. Dr. Pepper, I think maybe sponsors.
We're gonna get our
Phil's got all the hot
anime.
takes.
We're gonna get an Ohio anime sticker stuck on there. I think
Ohio anime.
There you go.
Decal.
Dude, make one up. I'll put it on the car. Right.
Perfect.
Done. Another you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Right.
This winter there's some interesting things happening with a company that is doing a unique engine swap for my car. We're gonna plug that in and be one of the first in the country competing with that in the spring of 2024. So
cool.
Those kinds of things are happening. Yeah.
Right.
Nice. All right. Very
This is
cool.
like circle track racing, Mike, or do you do more like Baja style, or like a Formula One style?
So I mean, it's not on Formula One level, and it's in a 2006 Miata. So not open wheel, but it's circuit track, like what Formula One does.
Okay.
Not circle tracks.
Sure.
But NASCAR goes to like when they went to Road America, that kind of thing. I've driven Road America numerous times. So yeah.
Cool.
Stick shift? Is it all like manual?
Yep.
Okay, it's cool.
Yeah. Little glorified go-kart is what I'm trying to do.
That's fine. I learned to drive on a Chevy S10. Does actually GMC Sonoma stick shift. Like, I love that.
Nice.
It's just fun tooling around in a little 4-banger stick shift.
It is. There's something more engaging about it. I think John and I have talked about this in the past. There's just it makes the driving experience more fun, and the less engagement we make, the less people care about the enjoyment of driving, and it always blows my mind because I said it to my friend at work. I was like, I don't understand why people don't care about driving or don't like driving or don't recognize what it is. I was like, it's literally turning you into a superhero. Human beings are not capable of going 0 to 60 in under 2 seconds. You talk about being able to fly and go like Superman. You can do that in cars. They give you that ability.
Yeah.
And we just all take it for granted. We hop in our vehicles, we drive to work, and don't even think about the fact that you're doing something superhuman on a regular basis.
Or something that used to take people several days.
Yeah. Just
like 100 years ago or 150 years ago, something like that.
Right.
Yeah. It is the, embodiment of freedom. It really is like, you go to work every day or whatever, but you could just drive to the other side of the country. You get a tank of gas, maybe 2, and you just get halfway across the country.
Absolutely.
You get anywhere you want. Like, it is absolute freedom.
Yep.
And it's a thing that, not all that long ago, people were not able to enjoy.
When we get my covered wagon and oxen, I'm gonna head to the coast.
All right, Oregon Trail.
They're like stuck in their lot in life, and they're not. They used to be a lot closer to that. They play Oregon Trail. See how it goes.
Yeah, snake bite.
Yep.
You're dead.
Yeah. There's genuinely something romantic about it that everybody's missing.
Yep.
No, I love to just go for a drive, and I miss our manual transmission car. I truly do.
Which one is that?
Yeah.
Chris's Sunfire.
Yeah.
I mean, it's old baby, but I loved that car.
Oh, yeah. It was a long time ago.
I know. I loved it though. Like I do love like a stick shift.
I kind of bonked it into something because I was used to driving truck. Yeah, I was used to driving trucks and realized where the clutch gave, engaged and just kind of rolled a little bit. It was nothing but just not used to.
Cars.
That car's been through some stuff, man. Like, pretty sure whatever you did, it was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Funny.
All right. Well, speaking of lots of bonking and mayhem and destruction, Dorohedoro, Phil.
Right. I'll just be super quick. I think like 5 episodes in. I'm like, or 6 maybe. So I'll give a full report off a different pod episode when I finish the whole series. But I'm just about to start episode 7, I think.
Okay.
But I love it's awesome. It's like equal parts goofy and I forget what I said in my text to you, but it's like delightfully weird and it's like violent, but it's such like it's not goofy like some animes goofy in like a chibi way. It's just like funny. Yeah. It reminds me a little bit like Chainsaw Man, goofy in that way, where it's like still super violent and like wild. But they put enough. They just infuse some humor in there that really just makes it so fun. It's like
it's a black humor, dark kind of thing.
It's why I can watch shows like Dorohedoro, but I really don't like shows like Attack on Titan. I can have some like violence and like crazy stuff happening, but you got to throw me a little bit of lightheartedness here and there. I don't know.
So I'm assuming you particularly enjoyed these last 2 episodes. Of Jujutsu.
Yes, these episodes have been great. Jujutsu is a great show like that too. It's intense and violent at times and dark, and hilarious at times. Still,
Mhm.
Gojo going to the girls' school, freaking hilarious. Laugh my butt off. So, I mean, you throw some of that stuff in and I'm a happy camper.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, we get into it. Phil, you can continue with some thoughts here on Jujutsu. I'm gonna get a screen up to show people some images in case they're interested.
I also just got to say, John, before we jump too far into this, the panel, watch my first Miyazaki film this weekend. Just for the record, just wanted to let everyone know I watched Howl's Moving Castle with Dana, and we loved it.
Sorry to return. Was that the inspiration then for the team name?
It was, yeah. I actually thought of the team name before I watched the movie, and I was like, I need to watch this, otherwise it's I feel like an imposter using the name,
right?
Actually having seen it, so
right, feel like a fake. Yeah, I get you.
Just for context, John and Mike, I have Sam Howell. He's the Washington Commanders quarterback. He's a rookie.
Yep.
Oh no, actually he's a second year. He played one game last year, but he's a new quarterback. Spelled differently, Howell, not HOWL. But I named my fantasy football team Howl's Moving Football. So
cool.
Yep.
The quarterback
pretty clever.
Howell.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
I recognized it immediately, and Chris got there after a second.
Yeah, nice. Dana's like, that's awesome. Also, no one will understand what you're talking about. I was like, that's okay. It's just for me. My other fantasy football team name, I had J.K. Dobbins. I named my team Jareth the Doblin King from Labyrinth. And then he tore his Achilles yesterday.
Say, ouch.
And I rename my team to the King is Dead. So
okay.
He's out for the season. So fun times. So I love that. I love that name and wasted.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Wasted. That's right. Is what it is. Part of the game. Sorry.
All right.
My apologies.
Yeah. No,
I mean, it was anime related. I took us on a anime related side tangent this time.
True.
Well, you got to see up front our buddy here, Besto Friendo.
Mm-hmm.
He came into the picture pretty early here.
So,
I mean, just overall, Phil, you sound like you're enjoying the Shibuya incident arc that just began now. What deeper thoughts do you have on these two episodes?
Yeah, I mean, just overall, I kind of like. The first episode was a little bit like, oh, this is just really. They really feel like they're easing you in, but then I actually kind of, now that I've seen two episodes, I kind of like that they don't just jump right back into some crazy battles or some crazy dire stakes. I kind of half rewatched the first episode again, just about the good part, all the kind of main points. And I really like it a lot. Kind of on second watching, from the first time I watched it, I loved the diner scene. Thought it was hilarious. Just the fun animation changes. Yeah, that was awesome. Favorite part of the first episode. And this second episode was really fun, really great. And then they threw in a lot more action, and so now we're kind of ramping up. I thought it was an awesome start to the arc.
Nice.
Just generally,
Mike, how about you? Are
we just talking about the first episode, or are we talking about the two as a whole?
Both, yeah.
I still don't understand the domains. And
fair.
I don't want more exposition explaining them, but their intensity or their strength or their power and what is and is not able to be done inside of them. Initially I thought it was just very simple. This is my ultimate move. It means I can never miss. And now we're getting more nuance to them. It kind of feels a little formulaic. Yep, we're going to get to a point in the fight where one of these people is going to go into their domain. And that's going to be the end of it. I like that they're not making it as clean and easy as just, it's like playing Mortal Kombat and you hit your ultimate, you press LB and RB at the same time and boom, right? There's nothing you can do to interrupt it. They're giving us some more about that simple domain. It was pretty cool. Still want to know a little bit more about that. But overall, I thought the Mekamaru reveal was very, very cool. That we see him, and that he kind of played or thought he played Mojito and Geto. And it turns out they're just confident enough, you know. Also a little bit bummed to lose him so quickly. I felt like he was a mystery, and then the mystery was revealed, and then he's taken away from us. And I don't understand why they did that off scene or off screen. Like, we saw this whole intense battle. We saw all this buildup, and then the killing blow is off screen. I'm not sure why that needed to be done. But overall, I thought that fight sequence was super cool. And I loved it back and forth. So,
yeah.
They turned it into like a mech anime for an episode. It was super weird, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely for you know, absolutely a full episode, and then a little bit at the end of this first one here.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andrea, let's get your thoughts, and then we'll break down you guys' ideas a little bit here.
Just to bounce off of, you know, what's already been said, loved the diner scene. I mean, loved it. It was hilarious. Like, just the text, come to this diner. Why? Get here now. Okay. Like, just, you know,
just
like everybody coming in there, like, does Yuji have a girlfriend? Like, oh, let's puzzle this out. Like, just peak, like, entertainment comedy to ease us all in, and just build some character development and flesh out some relationships before we had to, like, dive into the really serious. I definitely agree, Mike. Like, Mekamaru was so interesting, and I totally believed this is exactly why he would be feeding information to the opposition to heal his body. I mean, I totally thought his, like, desperation to be with people and feel normal and have like an up close in-person relationship with someone. Like, I totally bought that as his reason.
Definitely.
You know, and it didn't make me happy, but it made me understand him and why you would do that. But then his, like, determination to just, like, win this battle, like, his optimism of, like, I'm going to be reunited with everyone. Each time he said it, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I still had some sort of, like, there's going to be something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was heartbreaking in a way to just figure out that this was really a test of Simple Domain, like, just to kind of, like, figure out what they could do leading up to the Shibuya incident to trap Geto and, like, figure him out. You know, it was heartbreaking to come to that realization that he was just basically, like, a big guinea pig. But also, like, having his killing blow off screen now leaves this, like, horrible dangling hope of, like, maybe
he's alive.
there's maybe there's something. And I hate that. I hate that. I hate buying into that hope, because I know it's not there, but I'm still like, oh, maybe.
Yeah.
So
I don't think he's not a big enough character.
No,
probably
no. And I know that. But that is cruelly effective.
I agree.
Because even as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, there's, like, a little part of me inside that's like,
Yeah, I think they did do a good job of kind of, you know, at least I went going through the battle in this second episode, really, I started to believe. It's like, maybe he can. Not, like, I didn't think he was going to kill both of the bad guys.
No.
You know, maybe he can get out of here alive. Maybe he can make this work. You know,
make him retreat.
Maybe even I thought it would be incredibly bold that they killed the guy, you know, that's all scarred up and stuff. I thought,
Mahito.
That would be pretty impressive, and
or at least enough damage to, you know, really limit him in some capacity.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought they had him. I'm with you. And, you know, I don't they with the first 5 episodes, right, with the Geto Gojo backstory, it kind of makes it seem like Geto doesn't really need them. They're pawns, right? Even this guy, I think it ultimately is a pawn.
Yeah.
So I could have seen them, having him go down here, which then would maybe make Mechamaru's demise, in the future a little bit more impactful because he has this great feat now ahead of him. So I was totally bought in. I thought he had him. I thought it was a cool way to do it. And I think it's silly that the guy's just like, yeah, no, I just expanded my body. I exploded my body to fake it.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. I mean, that's kind of par for the course on the show. Gojo did the same thing. I did red blue inside my head right before they sliced my neck in 3 pieces.
Right.
Like, I guess that is what it is.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. And then also, just kind of, this is related, and bear with me here. I know this guy's like a cursed spirit, or I don't know. Is he a Jujutsu sorcerer? Is he a cursed spirit? It seems like he's being treated like this apprentice. But I feel like he's a cursed spirit. They've called him that many times, but he's the only humanoid-looking one that I've ever seen on the show. So I just think
he is
I've
a
been
cursed
little
spirit.
confused about that.
Why
would you train up a cursed spirit? They're just like spirits. He treats them like a human.
Yeah.
He like hangs out with them and he's like teaching him.
I don't know. It is interesting. Right. Yeah.
Did you so 2 things. One is just something I noticed, and it's a fleeting thing. It's not particularly important, but when they showed the people celebrating Halloween in the middle of Japan, there is a guy who knocking the mic over. There's a guy who has like tattoos and stitching that looks like mojitos, or it looks just like it. Like, across his face, on his arms, on his shoulders. I think he's shirtless. And I
didn't see that.
I thought that was interesting, and I don't know if it was intentional or not.
Probably.
And then
interesting.
The thing that's like actually feedback. During this fight, I had a lot of trouble with scaling, like in space. When they were fighting, when these 2 were fighting, I lost track of what size the mechs were, what size the people were, and like where everything was in the battle. And like things just kind of seemed like they were coming out of nowhere. I didn't partake. I don't know. That was the only part during that fight sequence that I was kind of like, it's losing me a little bit because I don't know where anything is. They were cool.
Sure.
They're in like a dam, I think, like a big, aren't they?
Yeah.
Big next to a dam. So I was like, pretty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
But it kept. There's like a lot Russian happening. Nesting dolls for Mechamaru.
Yeah.
Like
did you,
little ones kept coming out.
Yeah. Did you? I thought for a second maybe they were in like a Mechamaru domain for like a hot second, especially when like the life flashed up and it looked like it was outside the mech. And I thought perhaps he'd created some sort of like mech battle dome as a domain. And so I did have trouble like adjusting to like where exactly they went.
Yeah.
Phil, do you feel these similar feelings watching it?
I didn't notice it at the time, but I mean, there's a lot happening. There's a lot going on with like Mahito changing sizes and changing his like limbs and stuff. And I just have to say though, I'm getting just such strong Neon Genesis Evangelion vibes from this picture here. And like when he like did his like mech roar, I was like, this is straight out of like, I mean, I think it's like an homage to it, but it's cool.
It's it's no secret. They definitely in this episode really paid tributes to Neon Genesis Evangelion and Gurren Lagann. They really did like you say, that scream was basically a shot from Evangelion. The mech is very similar. You can see it takes some design cues from that.
It's even like hooked up. It's like hooked up to like wiring like they do in Evangelion.
And then the animation style was very much Gurren Lagann. It's very much, it was straight out of that. So like, that was interesting to me. It's like, Mike, I wonder what you'd think, like if you watched something like Gurren Lagann or Kill la Kill or something like that. It's really, it's this kind of thing. And it's really the most mech battles, they don't have the color like this, and the it's not so frenetic and crazy. Like you watch a lot of Gundam, and it's a lot slower, maybe wider shots. So yeah, you're not going to lose track so well of where you are. This is really about like the I don't know. Yeah, it's extreme motion. And so I really liked it. It was a little weird because I really did feel like I'm watching a different show. And that's what's been odd to me about Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 so far is none of it feels like season 1.
Sure.
Like it just is radically different. The first 5 episodes, somber in most ways. I thought very mature and beautifully shot. And then now this has been like feels like a grab bag. We're going between groups. We have, kind of rocketed between like, hey, let's go shopping. Let's watch the Earth movie. And we spend quite a bit of time watching the Earthworm guy.
That was weird.
And
that was
his sad thing. I thought it was pretty funny, but
I thought it was really funny.
But
it was funny.
It was funny. It was just bizarre.
I felt bad for him.
For sure. I felt terrible for him.
I felt bad for all the baby worms. Are you kidding me, Papa?
Yeah.
The baby worms are
hurting. Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't see that.
Sort of. I know, I didn't either.
No one did.
Especially, I don't know. I like half saw it coming when one walked out, but then there were like 16 of them just being like, "What the?"
Yeah, super weird.
So I just wonder, like, if like starting in the next episode, we're going to settle into a vibe,
sure,
and a style and a flow, or like, what's going to happen here exactly? Because season runs now, I think, uninterrupted till the end of the year.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we got a lot of episodes yet, and
is it going to be a full same length season as season 1? Sorry,
I think so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, here, share this for those that are watching it. Like, this is just looks like Gurren Lagann. It just is.
I agree with
it's
that.
really interesting. They went this route, and it was totally unexpected, but it was fun.
It's cool.
I really felt like, I'm just gonna say it. I really felt a vibe shift with like yet another intro and outro.
Yeah.
Like I really felt that vibe shift again. And I was like, man, I mean, I know, it's very classic for anime to do like a switch up mid-season, but we're getting a lot of switches here.
Yeah.
This
I was going to ask about it because it wasn't really mid-season. It was only like 5 episodes in, and they switched to a new arc and a new. So,
but are we going to get this for like another new arc? Like, just because it is a departure. So I just felt like, is it going to be a constant vibe shift, or is this going to be like steady now to the end of the season?
I think the Shibuya incident arc, it carries us through the season, I think. So I think it's going to be a while before that changes if it does. But
then it would be interesting to see if they do like a traditional like shift again. Because it's a lot of shifting.
Want to quickly say hello to MJ in the chat. Thanks for jumping in.
Hey, MJ.
MJ Honeybee.
I think it is MJ Honeybee. I think it should be.
That's
adorable.
Bayhive.
Yeah. Oh boy. Let's see. I haven't had anything.
Salt Bay. I saw you, Mike. Yeah. I was like, what is that? Oh, yep. Salting some meat.
So Andrea, big shift in tone for you and stuff. Mike, what do you think of the new opening?
I skipped it.
Yeah.
You didn't watch it once? Michael.
I saw it come in. I saw like the first couple seconds of it, and I'm like, nope, I'm not. Yeah. No, I don't want that. I like the tone that was set. Let me ride that out.
All right.
I almost skipped it, and then I realized it was different. So I had to watch it just to see how I felt.
Yeah.
Phil?
I like it.
I was already mad that they took away the other ending.
All right. Fair enough. You guys feel.
I'm always going to be a fan of the original ending, like the original outro. That's always going to be my favorite.
That one's awesome. It's great.
Okay, well, yeah, season 1, like the opening, that's an amazing song. That is a great song. It's absolutely on my playlist. It's spectacular.
It is.
Well, I
The
like the
second one
opening
is
too. I
better,
was talking
feel
about
like.
I was talking about the outro.
That's awesome too.
Sure. I don't particularly remember the outro.
The outro.
It's the one where they're all dancing and it's like really scribbly
yes,
markers.
of course.
Stylized
Yes,
and like
that's great
yeah.
as well. Yes,
That's my
absolutely.
favorite.
Those are amazing.
Yeah.
That's why I was happy when we got this new intro, because it is way better than what we've been getting since those. So this intro is a really cool song. It has a really fun, it's a much darker, a lot of red going on, a lot of like reverse imagery that spirals out. It's a really nice opening and a really good song. And I just am happy to get pumped to watch the show again, as opposed to like, I kind of have to get used to this. By the time I'm a few episodes in, it's fine. I'm used to it, but I'm not psyched to watch the episode. And now I am. So
well, you got 5 episodes to enjoy it.
I don't think so.
I don't think they're going to do another one.
No, I liked the visuals of the intro. It took me one time through to know that I had to blast it like full volume to really get in it, because they actually play it quieter than they do like the sound for the rest of the episode. So like the first time I heard it, it was too quiet to be effective. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like, this is really cool visually, but then like the sound was so low that I didn't really like feel it. And then the second time I turned it up and I was like, all right, now I'm pumped.
Yeah.
We definitely listened to this show loud. Like
I do, but like in a weird reversal, I felt like this intro was quieter than the sound for the rest of the show.
It's like when somebody starts to whisper, so that you have to come in and really focus on them, really listen.
Lab?
Yeah. Well, that's really a shame, Mike. You'll have to report back once you've watched the new opening here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I've got other chances, right?
You do. Well, yep.
Maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
In my defense, I was on a limited time frame today.
I get it.
And
I get it. It's fair.
Fair enough. Yeah. It is true.
MJ wants an ASMR stream, she says in the chat. So
She wants a what?
ASMR
Mike,
stream.
take over.
ASMR. It's when you talk real soft.
Maybe I think what you should do instead is you should do like a mechanics ASMR. And so you would lay out your tools like
constantly.
What's that?
It's just me swearing at the car constantly.
I'd be like, all right,
whispering.
now I'm going to take this cylinder apart.
Yeah. Lost my 10 millimeter, you piece of shit.
That's nice. I think that is what the people want, actually. So you might want to get on that.
All right. Thanks, MJ Honeybee, for the idea.
Yep.
I think you mean MJ Honeybay. So pretty quickly here.
All right. Well, okay. So what do we, let's see, other things, Mike, what you brought up earlier, I do agree with, it is an issue with the show of like, there's a lot of things we want explained that don't make sense, but we don't really want more exposition to explain it. That's kind of a pickle that they've put themselves in. And I don't know what to do about it exactly, because it's not like, so they're sorcerers. Usually maybe you think of Harry Potter. Well, there's specific spells with Harry Potter. So you understand this spell does that. X-Men, people's mutant ability, which I feel this show is similar to, people's mutant abilities. So they all have a gene that's mutated, but their powers are shown in a different way. And so they all basically all harness like these missing the term for it, but
latent powers,
this energy, you know, and then they but it manifests in kind of different ways. They kind of use it in different ways, but it's not like, oh, this person has ice powers. Sure. This person can produce fire. You know, it's like, it's very complicated.
It's more like MHA, like where they have like, I can make bubbles, or I can.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of important to, you know, to something, even if you're trying, you want to be able to feel like if you're watching a scenario, you can understand in a way what people can do. So you can, in your mind, you're running through who could win here, what could be happening. But if you're constantly given curveballs of like, I don't understand what this person can even accomplish, the surprise feels cheaper, because it's like, well, as far as I'm concerned, you can do anything yet, because you know,
certainly Gojo can.
Yeah. Well,
and Geto literally has thousands of cursed spirits inside him that can do anything. I'm sorry, Mike.
Yeah, no, Phil, that's a good point too. Like, Phil, to your point, like his power is the ability to, you know, absorb and manipulate cursed spirits, right? But then those cursed spirits have their own capabilities as well.
Yeah.
I think it is a charm of this show, but it is also the downfall, and that's kind of what you're saying there too, John. Like, people applaud Brandon Sanderson for a couple of his book series, like the Mistborn trilogy, as well as the follow-up to that. And what they applaud is the magic system that he's built in, because there are a specific set of rules that you're able to follow with that. This show doesn't have that, and that's a good and a bad thing, because it allows them for a lot of creative, you know, world building and a lot of flexibility into the uniqueness that characters can have. But it does leave you wondering what the hell is going on.
Right.
A lot.
Yeah.
What is more powerful? Is there something that is more powerful? What the hell is Gojo's positive and negative energy? What even is that? We're just supposed to know that it's like a black hole, but it's not a black hole.
Right.
It obliterates instead of I don't know,
absorbing.
No, it's true, but like the way you in my book, I guess if you want to do we don't have rules, it's mystical kind of thing, is like how you'd see Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. You don't know what he can do, and that's part of what makes him awe-inspiring, is like you don't know what he is capable of, but he's not constantly like throwing at you unbelievable world-rocking new abilities.
I would say rarely.
Like, I love, you know, right? I'd say like
just
in the movie
ones.
when he captures a moth, whispers to it, and then it comes back with his like
super subtle,
unexpected, no idea that would be coming, you know, some sort of thing. It's just, so it's not this stuff like, well, it's a get out of jail free card, or it's some sort of crazy trump card. It's just you know, it's a cool thing. It keeps you on your toes. You never know what kind of, you know, weird shit this guy could be able to pull off. So I like that. But when you get so powerful, like some of these characters, I don't know, they just had to be careful, because we're losing, I don't know, it's getting complicated fast.
Yeah.
I feel like season one, I didn't feel this way, you know?
Well, and maybe that's the underlying reason that the Gojo thing feels hollow, like the way that he was able to, you know, resurrect himself.
Yeah.
Because there is no defined rule or law to what his capabilities are or how they work. And I think that might be the same reason that this particular battle, is it mojito, or that's a drink? Mojito? Mojito. Thank you.
A mojito. It's delicious.
Yeah, right.
You just call him mojito.
Yeah. That's where I'm going from now on.
Yeah.
You know, his explanation for how he tricked this guy, that feels hollow too, because again, like you said, there's no limit, there's no boundary here. We know he's got this transfiguration thing. Since when does that mean that he can, you know, explode himself out into millions of pieces and make it seem like he died? like he's supposed to be able to touch things and manipulate matter. Yeah, but he can disassemble himself. I don't.
Yeah,
He's pretty wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree, and this is an issue that times that X-Men comics have gotten into before as well. Of like, okay, why can this person, Iceman, went from like, I can produce snow and ice and I can surf on it, and then, and then eventually it all the way was like, my entire body can be made of ice. You can completely shatter me. I'm on a mega level mutant because any piece of me that's left, I can reform from the water in the atmosphere. It's like, wow, okay. I mean, we've really taken a journey here now. Yeah, like what you are capable of is basically being winter, just whatever.
Well, and I think it's going to be, I mean, kind of to your guys' point, there are multiple people who are exhibiting this ability to just be like, oh, well, but this other thing you didn't know about, that I can do that. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. We got Gojo doing it. We got Geto's can do it basically because he can pull any cursed spirit out of him that he needs for any situation. Right. Mahito is doing it. And then that Yuji and Sukuna are gonna do some crazy stuff. I mean, he already has when he ripped out his heart and just threw it on the ground, and he's like, well, we can just still live, that's fine, so I don't need a heart. But I mean, it's going to happen with more characters too, so it's, I mean, I think and I'm generally fine with it. I agree with all of it. I think we're gonna have to just be like, okay, well, this guy can do this, that's cool, I guess. That's, but it is good and bad.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, either way you go, either you make like Gojo like the only one who can do all this cool shit because you've already done it, so like you have to commit to Gojo can do a bunch of just like amazing, like mind-blowing things, and he's the only one. And then it gets tiresome that like Gojo just comes in, he's like, oh, cool, I'm the best, bye. Or like everybody somehow has like a cool power that they can pull out of their pocket that's like, oh wait, but then that becomes tiresome too, because then every character seemingly can do that. And it devalues that. Yeah, nobody ever wins, but nobody ever loses, so it's really boring. So they've really
stalemate fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's a careful thing that they've backed themselves into this corner, and they've got like a really careful maneuver to try and get themselves out in an interesting way that keeps us, the viewers, invested without being like, guess everybody's special, yay.
Yep.
Everyone a trophy.
That being said, I do feel like one of two things. One, I really would have been okay with Mahito like getting destroyed in this battle and Geto being like, shit, okay, I learned some stuff, so this was really important, but I lost somebody really valuable. Yeah. Could have just like been a good stake to just be like, I really needed that, but I was really hoping he could have, overcome Mekamaru. Even like both of them taking each other out would have just been like, ugh, I felt that. Two, during this battle, I sort of realized that like Mahito and Geto's powers are not all that dissimilar in principle. So once you figure out a way to defeat one, you could theoretically figure out a way to defeat the other. In terms of like, they both like store souls / cursed energy inside their bodies. And that's sort of like this like infinite like reserve that they have of like either, souls that Mahito can manipulate or like cursed energy that Geto can just like pull out and be like, here's this thing, here's this cursed spirit. So I don't know if like theoretically you figure out one, that's the key to like maybe at least wounding majorly the other or defeating the other in principle. No. It just like hit me when Mahito like opened his mouth and like all like the arms started coming out, and he was like talking about like the souls that he had been keeping in there.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, his thing is that you can't seem to penetrate his body to get to his soul, right? So maybe he's not a cursed body because he has a soul. Maybe he is a human now that I'm thinking about that, Phil. But like, yeah, his thing is all about all the damage that he takes is really just a gel covering of his soul, right? So for him, you have to penetrate that. And that's what Makamura had done, right? With his little pill / device.
With his years. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So I wonder if, in that sense, like if you find a way to, you have to find a way to kind of insert or hide something in between Geto and the cursed spirits that he's releasing. Because ultimately he's still mortal, I think, to some degree.
So
I don't know if this other guy is. Man.
Yeah, see,
we still haven't seen too much of his journey from like the first 5 episodes into like I have absorbed like all of this and I am who I am now.
Right.
You know what I mean? We've seen the impetus, but it's not like we saw the billion steps between.
My thought was kind of like partially what you were saying, Andrew, but then it goes opposite, where I thought they were leading to with maybe the idea of Mekamaru defeating Mojito, because like Geto was talking about like, this is interesting. Like he seemed to be thinking maybe this is a challenge and not caring. Like to me, he came off as like, well, if he died, oh well, that would be really kind of something like to me, not a blow to him exactly. Just like, wow, this is that's something interesting and a learning experience here. And it really did show him like he is a means to an end. And
and I meant more like a blow to his plans per se. Like I can't use him in the future, rather than like this is a blow to me personally. It'd be more like, shoot, like there's so many other things, I could have deployed him for. Now I guess I'll have to use somebody else, But yeah, you're right. Ultimately, I think he would have preferred like, hey, if you go down, at least I got something out of this experience that might help me get Gojo. So whatever, like worth it.
But now, like looking back, it seems like, oh, maybe he was a little flippant because his plan really does seem to rely heavily on Mojito. Like the Shibuya stuff seems like he's a key factor here, because it's like, oh, wasn't it nice that you got to see, as opposed to just like taking my word for it or something like that.
Right.
Or I don't know. So
what did you guys think of, sorry, was I going to interrupt you there, John?
Don't go ahead.
What did you think of the fact that when they were unveiling the veil, one of the girls could see it, and it seemed like they made a very specific point that the girl could see that something was happening up by the moon, and the person that she was with, he had no idea what she was talking about, right, as the veil was coming down. And I know that is already a set precedent that some people can recognize cursed energy, but do you think
that meant something more?
Yeah. Is that person going to be something, or were they just doing it for world?
Who were they again? Remind me. It's been a couple. I watched this last
someone
Thursday,
in the crowd.
So.
Yeah, it's just
it's just a girl dressed up in the crowd.
Okay, no one we know. Okay, yeah,
no.
Interesting. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean,
I feel like there's something there.
I think it's just a way to demonstrate or to kind of remind people again, like how different people are going to be experiencing this, and the only other thing I can think of is maybe people like her will be spared, because Geto is out to kill all the humans and non-sorcerers. So maybe those that kind of have the innate ability will be the ones that get let out or something like that.
That's what I was wondering about, like the people who seem to be like sucked away by the vacuum or like flushed down the toilet bowl, as that panic dude was talking about, was like, are those the people who can or can't maybe, you know, or I guess maybe aren't sensitive of that energy, wouldn't be Jujutsu sorcerers. Like, is that like the first weeding out process?
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening there, right? Because I thought, okay, everybody's going to be sucked up or something, but then not everybody was. A whole bunch of people were left over. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd like answers for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I also liked the. I was trying to find it so I could put it up on the screen, but there's another shot that to me just rings the movie.
Was it Gojo's entrance?
No, wait, what?
What?
Was it Gojo's entrance?
No,
sorry.
No, it's like
so cool, and then he's like, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, I bumped into you."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Okay, so any predictions? Is it going to be? Is Gojo stuck in there? Is it going to be an all-out bloodbath in there? Any sort of things that
MJ's asking
any
who's
canon
entrance.
you'd like to share with us, Mike? Any head canon?
No, I'm not doing that anymore.
He's on going cold turkey.
Yep. My ideas are always way cooler, and I will not accept any arguments about that. And, oh, hey, there's the guy.
There's the guy, yeah.
So I pause it.
Oh, yeah. That looks just like
Good call,
costumey stitches. But maybe.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, though.
Yeah. I guess I've never ever seen anyone draw stitches on themselves like that up until this show. So maybe that's all it is. But the other reason I don't have any headcanon is just because, frankly, this show seems so disjointed recently that I have no idea.
Hard to guess.
I have no idea where it's going.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like,
that's fair.
I can't build up about what Geto's plan is in my head here. I barely understand his motivation because it seems so out of the blue.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't have any.
I definitely think the show is harder to like think through what the next steps in the storyline will be compared to like Demon Slayer. Like I think we were all like, this might happen, that might happen, and none of it was happened. But I think we were closer, and it was easier to like guess what might happen based on it's a simpler story, a more straightforward story, I should say. Yeah, the show's wild, so it's really hard to guess what might happen. Who knows?
Yeah, MJ, if you don't, if you're not familiar with the show, you won't know whose entrance we refer to. But yeah, Gojo's entrance. I
can't. I watched the episode, and I have to go back and look. I don't even know what you're talking about. But
my prediction is the show is going to sort of settle. We had it's a weird way that they've done this, but we had our season 1, then we had a prequel movie, then we had a bigger, longer prequel, 5 episodes, and now we're back continuing season 1 after a like 4 or 5 week break. So it is a little bit much, but it is telling these different chunks of the story is a little unorthodox, but I do think we're going to sort of have a through line now, a focus. I think this is the setup for our focus and what's gonna go on. I think we're gonna get a lot of battles, and I do think that we're gonna have something that starts to make more sense, at least in the immediate, like in the moment, what people are fighting for and stuff like that, and what they're trying to accomplish. So that's my hope anyways, and it does seem like that's where, to me, it's heading. It's sometimes things do require a lot of setup, and it is that binge versus weekly episode difference, I guess. But
yeah,
I'm still in favor of this.
I'll be happy to see it settle a little bit. I've almost entirely forgot that the original plot of this show was that this random teenager kid swallowed a finger he wasn't supposed to swallow, and now has this crazy demon inside of him.
Yep.
Right.
Or cursed spirit. Like, when was the last time we focused on that?
Yeah.
And that was an issue.
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's hard because they sort of tried to bring you back to that with the first episode, you know, where one, we had the student from Yuji's school like come in and be like, oh, like, remember me? And we had sort of had like a weird trip to Yuji's past.
Yeah.
But then also that like the very, very beginning was his new besto friendo, you know, recommending him for an upgrade and being like, we're going to go on missions together and he's got to go find another finger to like, if he's going to be, you know, get this grade or whatever. So, yeah. So, I mean, they were trying to go there and like bring it a little in again, but it does feel very far away. That's a legit point.
I like that though. I mean, I like when I'm getting presented with a story that we start with something simple, maybe focusing on a character, and then it explodes. You know, it's like, even I understand that we stick with him more, but like in Harry Potter, it's about Harry, smaller thing. Whoa, you're a wizard, Harry. And then all of a sudden it's like a larger world and there's more things going on. And, you know, it's each movie kind of has their individual story that's building to the whole thing, whatever. Like, I do appreciate that Itadori is just part of this. Like, he's an important part and it will prove to be an important part, but he is one cog in a larger system here. And, so I do like that part, actually.
It would be nice, I think, though, if like the Shibuya incident moved his character forward in some way, or like his relationship with Sukuna. I mean, I think so too. But I, you know.
Oh yeah, I want to see it. It better. I mean, I feel. I mean, you're saying it better. Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Let's see. Nez Orion just followed on Twitch. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
I'm going to show this shot here. This is what I was talking about earlier. To me, this is the other thing. It definitely reminds me of Akira. To me, it's a pretty like iconic shot, and so it's just I don't know, an homage episode, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
To all kinds of things. So.
I think it was done well.
Yeah.
Each one was done well.
Yeah. As disjointed as this first bit of the whole season has been, I still really enjoyed it. All the episodes are still awesome. The art and animation is just gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous.
I mean, you can just sit and just like turn it on and just get sucked right in.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I'm still enjoying it. I have my issues, but I'm still having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, they have to pay us to kind of comb through this, and
that's big bucks.
That's why we're.
That's why we can afford that big time sponsor on Mike's car.
Exactly.
Get that sticker made, John.
Right.
Yeah, no, we have a place so we can do final decals out here. I've worked with before, so
I'm not joking. You make them; they're going on the car. I'll send you pictures.
Yeah. All right.
Done.
All right. Well, I think we've probably talked enough about these couple of episodes. We'll be back in a couple weeks to talk about a couple more. And in the meantime, we're going to have another regular Popcast on the Rocks, Andrea and I, next week. So this month is kind of like Batman month, because Batman Day is, I think, Sunday. Some of that.
The 17th.
So, yeah. So we're probably going to be talking, if it works out for us, the Mask of the Phantasm, Batman. It's one of the highest rated Batman movies, period. And I'd say probably the best animated one for sure. But I haven't seen it since I was quite young. So it's going to be fun to rewatch and talk about. And Andrea, have you ever seen it? I don't remember.
I have not.
Okay. All right.
So better than the Killing Joke.
Phantasm.
Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah, it came out back when the animated series was, I don't know if it was midway through or something like that. And the Killing Joke, Mike, I guess I don't know, because I have an issue myself with some of the like DC takes a lot of stories from the comics and then sort of does an animation of it, but I feel like there's not enough budget behind it. Sometimes it literally feels too much like what do they call them? They're like a motion comic or something, just have the panels move and some of that.
Sure.
I don't know what the Killing Joke one is like. I haven't seen it. But I've not been a big fan of a lot of DC animation in the last few years. It just all feels samey. It's like Castlevania on a quarter of the budget.
Oh, sure.
No. I was like, wait a minute.
That reminds me. John, have you watched any of the trailers for Castlevania Nocturne? Or Andrea,
yes.
Or
I don't need to see any more of it.
I get it. Yeah. I get it in the show a lot more than they need to, but it looks so good. Looks just sick. I'm super excited for it.
So I was reminded in these 2 episodes of Jujutsu of Castlevania in the sense of like when Mekamaru and Mojito were having their battle. I was just sort of like, and he was like shifting like Mojito. Hashtag Mojito.
Mojito lives.
I'm gonna have to drink one for goodness sake now.
Next episode.
Next episode.
Mojitos all around.
Let me do it. But when he was shifting like all of his forms in that like ultraviolet, like I was just like, this is something that anime does so beautifully. Like you could never do a live action of this. You know what I mean? Like this wouldn't even be a 10th as cool as what's happening on my screen right now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I had that flash, and I had that same flash during one of Castlevania's like bigger battles.
Oh yeah.
Where I was just like, there's no way you could ever do a live action and make it half as good.
No.
Because this just isn't possible in the realm of believability to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Totally.
That was just my like random like connection. I literally just thought of that as you said it.
Yeah. Definitely. 100% agree.
Let's see. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, follow, share, like all those sorts of things here on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or X, all those places. We're on podcast services as well, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, that kind of thing. We have content up on Rumble, so wherever you want to find us, we're probably there. Not TikTok. We're not there, I guess. We're not that young, but otherwise.
Sorry, Gen Z.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap the show, give the outro here for a couple seconds. Anyone that wants to stick around to say anything else, we'll do that in the after show. Otherwise, I thank you all for joining us, and we shall see you next time.